Today,
Hello
we're creating
again.
box
Welcome
art
back to
legendary
the series
Pokemon in the
where I
Croneo
cover my
region
Fakemon project,
with
the
Dr.
Croneo
Eevee.
region.
Link
In
to channel
case you're
description
new,
below.
I'm making a Fakemon region based primarily on Scotland. I go
And commissioned
over
a bunch
this
of artists to
premise
make the
in depth
Fakemon.
in the first video, where I cover my
Say what you will about the Pokemon designs, if you like them or you hate them, but you can't call them AI.
Check out the second video if you need more context on that, since my ideas can get pretty wild. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the main legendary trio of the region, and yes, I'm only covering 3 Pokemon. Before I get
Should
into
be interesting.
them,
There's
I'm just
typically
going to
only
remind
3
everyone why I
legendaries
called
anyway.
Croneo
Typically.
Croneo. In the first video, I do mention that it's called Croneo because it means New Crown Tundra, with the
New Crown
part meaning
Tundra.
new and the Crow part meaning Crown Tundra. It's because the Crown Tundra is also kind of based on Scotland, so
Kind of vaguely reminds me of a Norm Macdonald joke. The abbreviation ID is entirely unfair. You got the I, which stands for I, and then the D, which stands for densification.
Croneo sounds a bit like that. Admittedly, that was a coincidence at first, but it just lined up so well. In the past,
works for me.
The Creation Trio, the Tau Trio, the Aura Trio,
I mean, Cardinal had time travel, and that was a good Pokemon
Croneo, the main legendary trio will be called the Time Trio. And before you say anything, yes, Dial was the Pokemon emissary of time, but these are a bit more specific, kind of like how the Gen 3 trio are emissaries of parts of the planet, which you could say are subcategories of space, and we have Palkia, so it's fine.
It's fine.
So,
it's whatever.
Time Trio aren't the creators of time, just emissaries of the past.
Aren't Uxie, Mesprit, and Azov kind of timey? I don't know.
I guess you could call
Time's
it
kind of a vague
trio
enough concept.
thinking
It's
about
fine.
it, but either one works. After watching this video, I'll let you decide. Last thing I have to state before we get into it is that all 3 of these were done by Fungi Fakemon on Instagram, who also did the Flamoo line. My gut instinct
Alright,
was that
so
they
we're
were
going
the
to be in for
this,
interesting
and
designs
my gut
this
was
time.
right. They turned out legendary. And please bear in mind, these
Go
were
home,
devised
you're drunk.
and commissioned before the Scarlet and Violet trailer came out. Any similarities between the legendaries
Are
and
pure
themes
coincidence.
in this video are completely coincidental. As I've had these ideas
Well,
for
they made the fire
many
type one,
months
be
preceding
very
Gen
good
9,
designs.
let's start with their lore.
An ancient Pokémon that had powers over time itself fought a
Well,
rival from what
off to a
we
great
now
start.
know as Ultra Space. The ancient Pokémon won, and took the spoils from this victory, crystals from its rival's body. The ancient Pokémon felt a sense of familiarity when looking upon these crystals. These crystals were crystals of time, much like one the ancient Pokémon already had possessed. It chose to create scouts, used to oversee all of time. It chose a creature of the ocean to bond with one of the crystals, to swim through the past as if it were the vast ocean
design what it looks
itself.
like beforehand.
It chose a creature of the land to bond with another, since it would run towards the future like the many destinations on land. The last was a creature of the sky to bond with the remaining crystal. This creature ended up a little different from the others. However, it bonded all the same to look
It
over
was
the
a bird.
present. The ancient Pokemon
Is it an
ruled
error that
as a
we're seeing
temporal
their
frequency
designs in the outline?
to allow this bonding to occur, which gave these 3 creatures immortality. Their role as legendary Pokemon is to
Time
look
never
over
ends.
history to see if this monster, the ancient Pokemon's rival, is ever to return. Let's first discuss the emissary of the past, Praetorate, the
I like how its
hindsight
eyes look
Pokemon.
like they're
The name comes from Praetoritum,
computer screens
which
in a
is
way.
Latin for the past, E. Quirosa, which is the species of octopus it's based on, and the suffix "ate" from agate, the name of the game this Pokemon is the mascot legendary for. The name also sounds a bit like
I'm down for that.
a verb meaning to say something again or a number of times, typically
repeat
for
that?
emphasis or clarity. The Eldone Cerosa's more common name is the curled octopus, also known as the horned octopus, lesser octopus, or northern octopus. This
Hey, I found some
cephalopod is found in
octopi
the seas
Pokemon.
around Scotland. But why is an octopus the emissary of the past? First of all, having a Kraken-like legendary just makes sense, especially since Scotland has a connection to Vikings, who were Scandinavian like the myths about the
and
Kraken.
Plus a
but also,
Kraken like
octopuses
with
are
time
very
powers
intelligent.
sounds scary.
Phytorate's whole deal is that it has knowledge of all history. And isn't intelligence by definition being knowledgeable, which all beings on Earth gain from past experience? And being able to apply said knowledge?
Yeah.
Sure, the word skill can be interchanged with knowledge here, but isn't skill having learned how to do something and practicing it until you're
this sounds vaguely on the concept of the ability to speak doesn't make you intelligent.
Experience. And since octopuses are very intelligent, this makes too much sense, no?
Yeah, octopi are about as smart as humans, if not smarter.
The emissary of the past,
which is why we stab them at every chance possible.
Originally,
and they live at the bottom of the sea.
A unicorn instead, and an elephant as the future mon. But I changed about which animals are what Pokemon, and I'm happy with what I have now. Phytorate's typing of fairy fighting is a remnant of the stage, but I still feel like it works. I have to bring up the types of the Elite Four: Steel, Dragon, Fairy, and Psychic. I want there to be a really strong Pokemon of all 4 of these types. 2 of the final evolutions of my Pseudo Legendary line
Fairy fighting sounds like it'd be hard to do it, because doesn't fighting resist poison?
Serve as their aces.
I might be wrong on that one, but still.
Early on for the past Legendary,
but I guess it could exploit the fighting techniques of like flying or something.
The future Legendary to be a Psychic type, like a Precipient, a Clairvoyant, an Adept, a Seer, a Soothsayer.
I like this way of looking at the
I feel like the fairy type works
trio then. Past, present, future, so a little bit of Christmas Carol in there too.
Myth. The past also had an emphasis on magic, and far enough back, nature was pretty highly prevalent. The fighting type also works because in the past there's been a lot of conflict, and I
and in the future there'll probably be a lot of conflicts. If there's one thing that human history is really good at, it's fighting. It's what the humans are good at, it's beating the crap out of each other.
The future is usually informed from the past. Preserving history is also important, and many dedicate their lives to fighting to keep it preserved.
Those who control the past control the present, those who control the present control the future.
As for the aesthetics of this Pokemon, and for the whole trio, they are based on minerals. First off, the white colour on its skin is based on some agates. The rainbow marbling is also based on similar marbling, also found on some agates. The marbling is a motif throughout the legendaries, and is why there is a sort of marble background in the Instagram posts, as well as a sort of rainbow motif in my videos. As for crystals, I'm not sure why I decided on this. However, I think it's a really cool aesthetic and has some practical reasons.
Yeah,
when coming up with the lore of the legendaries, I decided that these crystals belong to some currently unnamed Ultra Beasts made of these crystals. These crystals serve as the gimmick item, but I'll get into that when I get into the region's gimmick. Time crystals are actually a thing.
Necrozma, give me your shit back.
Wikipedia,
let me give you your shit back.
Matter physics, a time crystal is a quantum system of particles, is one in which the particles are in repetitive motion. The system cannot lose energy to the environment.
Is that like that momentum thing where you just hit a ball down and they go back, dong, 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 dong,
because of this,
you know?
The motion of the particles does not really represent kinetic energy like other motion. It has motion without energy. So yeah, that's everything I decided about this design. Next,
good design, I like it too.
Of the future, Mebicordian, the Foresight Pokemon. The name comes from Melontikos, which is future in Greek.
It's a horse.
And the suffix
makes sense
Ian
if you reach the future too.
Unicorns are the national animal of Scotland, so a unicorn legendary was necessary. I remember
makes sense. Makes
complete
sense.
Didn't happen in Sword and Shield. It kinda happened in the Crown Tundra DLC, where Calyrex's steeds are unicorns. But I wanted to do my own take.
That's not the same though. Why wasn't that in the base game?
Not to do. For those not in the know, unicorns are a mythical animal that's equine, a horse, but with a horn. To connect Mebicordian to Canada, I based it on the Canadian horse, but made it a unicorn. Its skin is black to reference obsidian, but also some superstitions. If a black horse appears in your dreams, it could be an omen of death, or alternatively, a wedding.
It's always a black creature. Black cat crosses your path, bad luck. Black horse comes in your dreams, you're gonna die.
The same reasons Absol has its type all justify why Mebicordian is.
Our superstitions are so
rainbow
racist.
Marbling
This
and
is a joke.
Are there for the same reason. Admittedly, there's not much more beyond this. However, I have more things to connect Pritorate and Mebicordian as a duo. Yes, they're part of a trio, but they're counterparts. Shut up. Their lore
Makes
already
sense. I mean,
suggests
past and
why they're
future are
tied to the
literally the
past and
opposites of each
future,
other.
but so do their designs. Pritorate is looking to our left, which is subtly indicating looking to the past, and Mebicordian is looking to our right, which
Not
is
to mention
subtly
one's white and
indicating
one's
looking to the
black,
future.
so
But
that
that's
helps.
not all. Look at the suckers where the crystals are on Pritorate. There's arrows going anti-clockwise, indicating time once passed. And around the horn on Mebicordian is a clockwise arrow pattern, indicating time's yet to come. Yeah, both of these
Interesting.
legendaries are fairly deep. The third member of the trio is less deep inspiration-wise, but I do have plans for it in the future to add complexities to it. But I'm saving it for another project. When it comes to Agate and Obsidian, they're about Pritorate and Mebicordian respectively. Finally, we have
Makes
the
sense.
emissary
Let's see what
of the
makes the
present,
bird so special.
Orpifegal, the Insight Pokemon. The name comes from Orpiment, the mineral it's based on, Ornithology, the study of birds, and Eagle, because it's an eagle, particularly a golden eagle, the national bird of Scotland. It also
Nice
looks
design,
like
too.
a mineral known as Orpiment.
Also
I
kinda looks
felt
like a Ben
said
10 alien, but
minerals
maybe then in a
or
good
golden
way.
elements not only fit the golden eagle, but they also looked like crystals.
Maybe
to
everybody
me.
see too
So
much of the
what
Drawing
would have
Matrix
been
Ultimates
psychedelic looking
episodes.
crystals in the other two are now gold, although these parts were yellow on the original bird anyways. It doesn't have any real design elements showcasing its connection to the present, and the only other design element worth talking about are these flying crystals. Fungi added them to make it feel more like a legendary, which I agree with. So why
It
is
works,
this a golden
makes
eagle?
sense.
As I said, the appearance makes me think of Orpiment, which I know sounds circular, but the connection is so strong it needed to stay. It's also the national bird of Scotland,
Works for
which I
me.
feel is enough reason to make it a legendary, but I
Yes.
feel like it should be the emissary of the present, specifically because I feel like being omniscient in regards to the present would go hand in hand with having a bird's eye view, since it could theoretically
works
see all of the
perfectly.
region. I also realised I haven't mentioned
very intelligent
its
sort of design with
type
this
in
stuff.
the
Good
script,
job.
but it is normal flying. Flying is kind of obvious because it's a bird, but
I thought
the
it would be
normal
rock with
type,
this
I
look.
just felt like it would be interesting to have a mainline legendary be normal type. Also,
Fair
again,
enough. I
have
mean, there's
plans for
Arceus,
later
but
to
he can
swap out
change
the normal
typings.
type in other forms, maybe. But none of them would appear in this project. I think this entire trio not only fits their themes, but also their species a lot.
I
Each
agree.
have a signature move, but they all do pretty much the same thing. Pritorate has Retcon, Mebicordian has Spoiler, and Orpifegal has Instant Act. They all
That's
kind of
a great-
have double
those are great
flying
names.
crest properties. What I mean is, depending on what does more damage, the move would be either of the stab types of whichever Pokemon's signature move that is. But because they're the main legendaries, they'll also be physical or special depending on what will do more damage. They share the ability Gamble with Time, which gives them high evasion. But if they are
Oh,
hit, they're
great.
hit with extra damage to compensate. The
Oh,
in-game description
fair
of
enough.
the ability would differ depending on the Pokemon. Pritorate knows
Well, that's
from
gonna make
previous
catching them more
battles
pain
when
in
to
the ass.
avoid moves. Mebicordian predicts what move will be used, so knows when to avoid moves. And Orpifegal can essentially see what strategies are being played out in real time, so knows when to avoid moves. They're all
Annoying
living
abilities,
beings,
but
like any
can't say.
trainer or
I mean, they're
Pokemon.
legendaries, so
They
they
can't
should be.
always dodge attacks. The increased damage received balances this out. They're using all their knowledge of time to gamble with their lives. A gamble with time, if you will. In this video, I also feel like discussing the player character designs. As you can
Ooh.
see, there's three. A male option, Andy, a female option, Sophie, and a non-binary option, Sammy. I feel it's important
Cool.
for everyone to feel included, and since plenty of people's own sense of gender identity
But where's my
falls
attack
outside of
helicopter
binary,
gender?
I don't see why we should just have male and female options, but they're still there for those
I'm
who
not getting
like
into
to
that
be
can of
referred to
worms.
he, him,
This
or
isn't the
she, her.
place.
Also, these are just the default designs, hence why they all have similar colour schemes. You can decide on what skin tone you want at the start, and you're able to change your hair and outfits to whatever you want, just
I like that.
in the
These are good
past few
additions.
generations. Everyone also gets the
My
same
god, they
clothing
race changed
options.
Dawn. How
Nothing's
could they?
restricted by gender.
Jokes.
I hope you enjoyed this brief overview of the protagonist characters who will serve as your avatar throughout Pokémon Agate and Obsidian.
So, that's it for my box art legendaries. What did you think? I feel like with the starters, the legendaries are very much important to bring up first. There are other
Pretty much, yeah. I
legendaries
mean, they're
in
gonna be the
region,
first thing
but
you see
I
on the
will
box.
bring them up towards the end of the project. The box art legendaries are the important ones to discuss early. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and ring the notification bell. Check out
You think if
Croneo
Pokemon like
Region's
Red, Blue,
Instagram,
Green were
links
made
down
today,
below. And I'll see you
what do you
next
think the
time where
legendaries
I
would be?
fill in the
Zapdos,
unused type
Moltres,
combinations.
Articuno,
See you
Mew,
guys then.
Mewtwo? What do you think the
Goodbye.
box art legendaries would be? It's an interesting question, at least. But anyway, yeah, so the episode itself, these are some really dang good designs for Pokemon and the inspiration they come from with past, present, future, and how it works through the timeline with an Ultra Beast losing crystals and Dialga sending out little minions, these legendary trios, in case the Ultra Beast ever comes back again. It's an interesting design, and I like the lore is interesting, like a legendary Pokemon sensing an Ultra Beast, like, this could be a problem. We should have some defenses against this, just in case. Because if I've seen some Pokemon fan reasons, yes, Ultra Beasts are tend to be a problem. Not all are evil, but some are more evil than others. And I like how they go into the design of the past, present, future, because, well, I mean, it's an interesting way of going about it with the legendaries, but how they deal with it at the time, and having it be off the main inspiration of Scotland, of like being their national flag, not flag, but the national bird and their national, well, all their inspirations. Like, yeah, that should be how it goes. Of course, they should be the legendaries for those things. That's a great way of looking at it, and they all sing into the animals pretty dang well. Also, I do like the fact that we have Squid legendary, just because it's a bit of variety on there. Why is Kyogre the only water legendary? That shouldn't be right. There should be more of them. And, well, technically, the octopus wouldn't be a water type, but you know what I mean by that sort of thing. Just, like, looks like a fish. And, and plus the horse and the hawk also look pretty damn awesome, too. Can't mess up with the freaking bird design. Birds always look kind of cool. And, yeah, these are just some great designs. And the designs for the humans were good, you know. I mean, they're the ones, they're the default designs, so you're probably going to change them to a 500 other outfits. But for default designs, not bad. Not bad at all. Now, and plus we can customize, don't have to worry about it too much. Not much of a worry. So, yeah. Solid stuff overall, and I knew I could trust the person who made the Firestar to make awesome designs. I mean, they did it before for the fire, so why wouldn't they do it for the legendaries and the Pokemon trainers themselves? Those are some good things. And the lore itself was pretty dang good to listen to as well and hear about all this stuff. I'm down for this legendary trio. I'm looking forward to seeing more of what happens in the future. But I guess we'll worry about that in the future. For now, I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you check out Dr. Eevee's channel in the channel description below as always. Now this episode is the past. I'm currently recording this to the present. I'll see all of you in the future. Later.